Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are around the world. I'm Simon from Trading Plus and fundedtradingplus.com. And today I've got a fantastic trading battle for you with two people who are going to trade one of the most popular instruments and assets to trade across the globe. That is, of course, cryptocurrencies. And it's fantastically convenient that we are going to be trading with 8cap today because they have 250 cryptos, including all the main ones that you know, and ones like me that you've got no idea what they're about. But thankfully, I have two experts in Nick and Santos who are going to be trading these cryptos and explaining more about them. And we're going to see who can win this trading battle and who can donate to a charity of their choice. Nick, would you care to introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're going to be looking at today.
Hey guys, I'm Nick Bencino. I'm just I hate to say it, an old school trader. I've been trading 20 years. I've switched from Forex to cryptos recently over the last few years, and now I trade mostly cryptos. I do still dabble in Forex a bit, but it's mostly cryptos. Today I'm just going to be looking at the basics, BTC, ETH. I might do a trade on Rune or something, HDR, AVAX, and yeah, that's it.
Fantastic. Look forward to seeing which ones you're going to be selecting. Santo, please introduce yourself. Tell us all about
Great. Yeah, thanks, Simon. And thanks, Trading Battle, for having me again. It's a pleasure. Look, my background, I mainly trade the Australian stock market intraday, but I also definitely dabble in the crypto market. Have traded crypto since 2017. Today I'll be looking at those main tickers as well, BTC, XRP, might even look at HBAR as well and Algorand as well. So yeah, and it'll be pretty much just technical based trading. Yep.
Yeah, fantastic. Absolutely. I mean, crypto has just absolutely exploded in popularity, and now people can trade it as a derivative at leverage. There's always those fantastic opportunities. So I think because we've seen over time, crypto's got more technical as well as, people looking at the fundamentals. People aren't just buying and holding anymore. There are people who are willing to short the crypto markets and things. So we'll see if we can get any trades off like that at the moment. Just before we start our first challenge, then, I want you to tell me, what is your best ever trade with crypto? I'm going to ask you your worst later, but we'll start off with positive. What's your best ever trade on crypto, Nick?
Well, now it used to be this crypto called Kate or Cat E, which I've talked about a million times on Trading Battle, but it actually has been replaced by Steppen. Steppen is a FitFi, which is fitness finance crypto. Basically, you install this app on your phone, you go for a walk, and you earn money. There's a crypto attached to this. We got into that crypto, I can't even remember, it was just a few weeks ago, and it's just made incredible returns. Yeah, that's the best one. I think I'm up overall from the entry price around 200 times. Now, it's not as good as Kate, which ended up being 3,000 times return. So not 3,000%, 3,000 times. But there was a lot more money in Steppen, so that's technically my best trade.
Yeah, I think that what attracts people to crypto so much is you hear these insane stories of these 2,000, 3,000% returns, and you just don't get that in traditional investing, do you? I think that's what's so attractive. It's almost like the old penny stocks that could sort of explode overnight, but in a much more modern form. I mean, you just highlight how much more I need to learn about crypto as you've described, going for a walk and earning money. So that's something that's I need to probably have a look at after. Santo,
I earn about $40 when I take my dog for a walk. Sorry, I was just going to say I earn about $40 when I take my dog for a walk.
Okay,
it's crazy.
Yeah, I imagine 20 years ago, if you told someone you'd earn money for taking a dog for a walk by something on the internet, you probably would have been sectioned. But such is the way the world rolls. Santo, your best ever crypto trade?
Yeah, it's actually an interesting story. So 2019, it was Christmas Eve, and I'd only owned Ethereum and BTC at the time, and BTC, it was only a small portion, but Ethereum started to take off, and the gas fees just to sell and buy Ethereum were just through the roof, right? And I thought there's got to be something else out there that isn't as expensive. And I typed in Google, what is better than blockchain? And the first thing that came up was blockchain versus Hashgraph. So I said, what's Hashgraph? And it was about 2 a.m. in the morning. I was laying next to my wife. I'm Googling, went into quite a few Reddit funnels and jumped on to see what the price was. And HBAR was at 3 cents US. And I said, well, that's pretty crazy. How come no one's jumped on this yet? Jumped on Google, started Googling about him, and they had Google on there in their governing council. And they also had Boeing on their governing council and LG. So did a little bit more research, and I found out that a broker in Oz actually listed it only a few weeks prior. So that was I just put a large parcel on it at 3 cents, and I'm still holding most of it today. I did sell up and down as it was chopping around, but that's probably one of my largest positions still to today.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, if I was going to stereotype a crypto trader, it would be someone on Christmas Eve laid with a wife in bed, although probably wouldn't have a wife, on the mobile phone researching esoteric cryptos. I think that couldn't
that's
play into
right.
the image. That's the passion and dedication that you need, I think, in order to succeed, I guess. But yeah, great stories, guys. Always interesting time that. Mine's a little bit more boring, so I'm not as sophisticated as you. I've just got a wallet with some Bitcoin in, and hopefully it'll go up. So that's about as sophisticated as I get with crypto. Unleveraged and boring, but that's safe enough for me. Right, I think it's time we get into our first challenge. It's no coincidence I do have the Trading Battle UFC background, because we're going to be doing our first challenge, which is gloves off. Place some punchy trades or trades to start this battle. Nick, would you like to start us off with a trade to get us going, please?
Yeah. So when you say punchy trades, are we taking multiple trades or
you
just
can do
one
whatever
punchy trade?
you can do whatever you
All
want.
right.
You can take multiple trades, whatever's
Love
going to
it.
help your charity, your chance of success to donate to your charity of choice the most.
Yeah. So the problem is I cannot get into the MT5 for some reason. So I'm going to need
Because we don't want you
you
to
to
win.
take the trades for me. Yeah, exactly.
you call them out, and we'll get someone to take them for you.
Cool. So yeah, I want to go short on AVAX.
Okay.
I want to have a stop loss at. Can you guys see my charts?
Yeah, zoom in as much as you can to the current price action. There we go.
Cool. So yeah, I want to go short on AVAX. Pretty basic stuff here. AVAX has been going down. I do think I'm pretty bearish on crypto right now, just over the short term. So I do think Bitcoin is going to dip a bit further, and it's going to take all cryptos down with it. So I'm going to go short on AVAX from this basically small resistance area, short down to this support area here. So honestly, if I wasn't in the battle, I'd be waiting to enter this short. I'd be entering a bit further up than here. But hey, we're in the battle, so I'm just going to jump into this one now and extend the stop loss a bit further than I would normally have it. So shorting AVAX right now and putting my stop loss at around about the 85.34 and my target all the way down here at the 66.52. I'm also going to short Luna. And this one is a little simpler. This one is basically bearish trend continuation, price going down, boom, hitting this resistance area. I think it's going to continue down. I'm pretty bearish on Luna. It's so overhyped. It's ridiculous. It's not really that great of a crypto. People think it is, but it's just all like this hype you see on Twitter. I'm going to get a lot of hate for saying this, to be honest. People are so absolutely just not going to work out long term. I'm bearish on it overall. I have been wrong in the past about this one. I've been bearish on it quite a few times to my demise, but this time it looks like it actually has topped out and it's going to continue down. So I'm shorting Luna. I have a bit of a grudge against Luna, I have to be honest, and I'm going to keep shorting it all the way till it hits like $500.
Oh no!
So I'm short on Luna. Stop loss at 92.56. Target at 77. On Luna. I'm kidding a bit. Like, I'm a disciplined trader. I'm not just gonna take dumb shorts on it. But
well,
yeah,
it's interesting because it happens to the best, didn't it? I mean, it happened to who's the big hedge fund manager? There was a Netflix series on it, betting on zero, where he was determined to short and crush Herbalife, wasn't he? It was Bill, I can't remember his name. So yeah, it can happen, can't it? You can really, there's the old saying, the market will stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent, and it's interesting.
Yeah.
But no, I can see the rationale for both of those trades. And if you think Bitcoin is the daddy and it's potentially going to roll over and maybe drag most things down with it, then yeah. But if you have a disciplined stop in the market, it doesn't matter if it's something that doesn't work out. Yeah, absolutely. Just want to say thank you for that. Santo, please show us what you're having a look at as well.
Yeah, for sure. So what I'm looking at is I'm actually looking for long on the long side of crypto, at least for the short term. And you can see this blue line that I've put over the chart. That's actually the S&P 500, right? And you can
Okay.
see the S&P 500 has actually been positively correlated to crypto in the last, say, 3 to 4 months, right? So I'm actually backing this BTC USD trade on one, the US 500, looking like it may turn and bounce, right? But the other thing is the DXY has also hit 100 flat as well, which is that really nice, strong psychological number. So I'm looking for any of those assets to pour into maybe the crypto space. So I will be going long on BTC, and I might hedge it with a possibly an XRP trade, but we'll go long at preferably I want to jump on at, I just want to check this price here, at about 4,800, but we're not here for a long time, we're here for a good time, so I might just jump in now and just put the stop loss under that 40,000 level, because you do have that nice spring as well. There's that conviction from that bullish spring as well.
Yeah.
And it's also sitting on that 61%,
Yeah.
61.8%.
Zoom in as much as you can to that
Yeah,
recent
for
price
sure.
action. Yeah, no problem. Just
Yeah,
helps
you can
some
see
people on mobile and things.
for sure. You can see that nice that spring, and we're also that sprung off the exact of the 61.8% Fibonacci, and you've also got triple divergence on the MACD as well. So there's quite a few. There is support in terms of the buying momentum. So I will take a long on that now.
Okay, I mean it's interesting how you've mapped it, Nick. You should be able to log into your MT5 now. It's interesting how you've mapped the S&P on top there. That's quite interesting to see how they're correlated. I've never thought of that, because S&P is something that I look at. So yeah, I can understand the rationale with that. But I guess that's sort of pinned to the sort of global economic sentiment. And Bitcoin's quite interesting, particularly when we had the coronavirus. And it'd be interesting to get your guys' thoughts on this. That I think a lot of people expected it to be similar to gold, as in it was going to be a relative safe haven, but instead it went down, 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 and down. And then those people were able to buy in at those wonderful sort of, I don't know, was it 4K prices? I mean, what are your thoughts on that, Nick?
Sorry,
sorry, I didn't direct
can we
it.
go to Santo?
I'm
just getting
sorry,
into MT5
Santo.
now,
Yeah.
and then come back to me. I'm taking my trades and everything because I just logged in.
No problem. I'll let you sort that. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, Santos, so just show you sort of your thoughts, I guess, on the long-term prospects of Bitcoin and how significant it still is in the overall market.
Yeah, it's a good question. And I guess we need to look at prior to, if we zoom out, you can see my chart, and I'll remove the S&P 500, right? And we look at prior to its last advance, which was July 2021, but quite a bit's changed since then. Inflation is said to be about 8%, but that's probably bollocks. It's probably more close to 17% if you want to really look at, look at just coffee, the coffee chart, look at the wheat chart, look at all these consumables. They're on their 50s or 60% increases for the year. So inflation is one thing. And then we also look at the bond yield. So the debt, the short-term debt that's up like 1,000%. If you look at I'll just quickly jump on just a 2-year bond yield. Now those two things together, I think it's just the money that we had a year ago, where we may have been able to, or that retail, or maybe not insto, but the retail side of the market, they may have had that money spare when they were getting their paychecks, when they were getting all these COVID subsidies. But now we're 12 months in the front, and the short-term debt is jumping. The Fed's raising rates. Inflation is now kicking people as well. So maybe now that money is not there anymore, if that makes sense. So I think it's just going to be more challenging for the money to pour into crypto, because I think the market cap of the crypto market's like 2 trillion right now, right? If it wants to go and break all-time highs, it needs to hit that 3.5 trillion, and that needs to be net buy. That needs to take on all the selling that comes along the way. And can that happen in the next 2 years when we have stagflation? That's my concern.
Yeah, that's an interesting point of view to tie it to sort of the global fundamental situation, and that raises the question of how much crypto is bought in sort of retail speculation, and it sort of ties into the stock market, wasn't it? All the we're so sympathetic to them, aren't we? All the hedge fund managers and institutions were moaning that so much retail money was in the market, particularly in the US, wasn't it? Look at how Robinhood and things like that blew up, particularly with those sort of meme stocks, wasn't it? Like GameStop and things like that. It just shows how much retail money can influence things when it gets behind it. And and obviously we don't know who's necessarily investing in crypto, but it could well be the same case there. So yeah, that's an interesting point of view, the fact that there may not be that available sort of influx of cash to sort of drive crypto up to the sort of figures that people do sort of band around, if you like.
Yeah, if you look at the chart now, like that purple horizontal vertical line was the exact time when BTC took off July 2021, and this is the 2-year bond yield, and that's gone up 1,084% in that time. So anybody that took on debt or short-term debt, anything on that side to buy these cryptos or buy property or buy any of these assets, they probably don't have the cash anymore. Or they may have the cash, but they don't have maybe the purchasing power that they did at least 12 months ago when you combo everything together. And that's why I'm a little bit bearish on. I'm bullish for this next couple of days, but I'm actually bearish longer term. Maybe to Bitcoin at like 25,000, maybe even lower.
All right, thank you very much. A couple of comments. Hi guys, loving the trading battle Octagon background. Thank you very much for that. Simon, you look devilishly handsome as always. Yeah, excellent. We like that comment from Martin. Hi, I trade Forex. Excellent. Lots of people do. Nick, just your sort of brief thoughts on the sort of long-term prospects of Bitcoin and these sort of mainstream coins that most people sort of have experience with.
I tend to agree. I think macro's kind of looking bearish just because of the economy. It's probably not going to be, in my opinion, it's probably not going to be like it used to be, where we just go into a crypto winter. There's absolutely no volume for 2 years, and then things just pick back up again. We're seeing more and more adoption, institutional adoption in crypto. And I believe now that the institutions are into Bitcoin, it's going to behave more and more like a traditional asset. So while I do think we're going to get a lot of downside in Bitcoin, 20K is totally possible. I do think we're still going to see some pretty decent volume throughout, and it's still going to make it's still going to be a tradable asset class over the next few years. But is it going to go to all-time highs? Probably not. I really don't see it happening. But I do think April overall is bullish. I mean, we still have earnings season coming. We're probably going to get a bit of a bullish move in the stock market. And if you look back historically, April tends to be a very bullish month. It's the second most bullish month of the year, not only for Bitcoin, but just for equities and everything. I think June or July is the first most bullish month, and April is the second. And that's just because, we're going to get earnings reports coming out. I do see April probably being a little bit bullish. We are dipping right now on Bitcoin, but I do see it recovering a little. But over the next few days, I'm definitely bearish on Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean, I think you've been a veteran yourself. I mean, how many times have we seen the market do things which it probably shouldn't do? I alluded to the market will stay irrational and you stay solvent. I mean, the stock markets. I mean, I use the US mainly as sort of the global pulse of the world. Aren't a million miles away from all-time highs, are they? If we had a little bit, I guess, sort of hopeful resolution with the Ukraine-Russian situation, I wouldn't be surprised to see the sort of stock markets hit those all-time highs. And I think, but my experience of Bitcoin is the fact that, when it started getting really popular in 2016, 17, and it exploded, and it was a case of, is it going to be technical and tradable as an asset? And I think you've answered that question. It is. And obviously we have the futures market now on Bitcoin as well, which gives it that underpinning of sort of legitimacy, which does give access, to the big institutions and things like that to be able to buy huge volumes and have the safety of it because they're going through a regulated exchange.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. What time is it? Do we have a second chance to ask you another question? I think I've got time for one more question that I'd like your views on. So do you think there are still opportunities for people? You've spoken about these fantastic trades we've made, sort of 1,000, 2,000, 3,000%. Do you still think there's opportunities for people to get into small cap coins, of new coins that can still make those type of returns if people are willing to put the research in? What about you, Nick? We'll go to you first.
Yeah, 100%. So I didn't say 3,000%, by the way. I said 3,000 times.
Okay.
So that's like 30,000%.
Yeah, that's a lot more.
So there's plenty of opportunity right now in crypto. Crypto is very narrative driven. So you'll get like a narrative like, so, last year it was GameFi or Metaverse, etc. They were really popping off, all the Metaverse cryptos. If you got in, you made 1,000 times return pretty easily if you got in right at the start. So that was last year's narrative, and there was a few others last year. And right now we're kind of moving towards more of FitFi, which I mentioned earlier. The thing I got in on Steppen, that we only entered that a few weeks ago, and we're already up like 200 times on that. So, there's still potential in the market as Bitcoin's falling. If you're finding the right narrative, there's still plenty of potential there. So FitFi, we're seeing a lot of copycats of Steppen. The token is, the company is called Steppen. The token is actually called GMT, like, the time zone. GMT is the token name, the ticker, if you will. So that is getting a lot of copycats right now. So you're seeing like a bunch of these fitness apps just coming out. And that's your first sign that this narrative is going to take off. This whole FitFi, fitness finance narrative is going to take off. But there's also the privacy coins. We're starting to see a lot of new privacy coins being developed. And that's just because, more and more we're seeing government overreach. We're seeing government trying to take control of our finances. And privacy coins promise to end that. They promise to give us complete control over our finances, complete privacy from the government. I'm not saying if they will or won't, and I don't really care that much. All I care about is it's a narrative right now that, people are interested in. So privacy coins are probably going to go up. So your basic ones like Monero and Dash and ZEC, but also the newer ones coming out. That's where the real gains are, the newer ones that are coming out. So that's stuff like Mystico. There's one called NYM, that's coming out, I think, tomorrow. That's another one that I could see doing like a 10, 20, 100 times return if you get in at the right time and if you play it right. But always remember, people get excited about like 100 times return, but I'm always taking profit when I'm up 2 or 3 times, and then I'll let the rest run 100 times, but I'll keep taking profit throughout. So, never go in expecting 100 times and just hold your money in there until it goes back to zero.
Yeah, so just the standard sort of trading principles of taking profit when the market offers you it. Who's the dog, by the way?
Oh, the dog. The dog's Chopper, but my missus just got in from the gym, so he's going to say hello to her.
All right, Chopper's done. He's had enough of crypto. He's going to see the he's going to see the better
he's
half.
A Rottweiler.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's lovely. Santo, some sort of question to you. Do you still think there's opportunities in some of the small caps for people to make great returns, even now crypto's well established?
Yeah, I'm not as knowledgeable as Nick is in terms of those new coins and ICOs or anything that and what they actually do. I only really stick to the ones that I really have picked out in the past few years. That being said, is there still the chance of gain? I definitely think there would be. Every single market will provide you some sort of opportunity. It's all just about, I guess, timing that market and just understanding where there is value in this space. But I do think there is, but I also think we need to also be quite cautious as well, because as time goes on, I can't see 16,000 cryptos or whatever it is being around. Because they're all doing very similar things. They're all fighting for the same space, and that has to get mitigated. That will mitigate at some stage. So that's the other thing, and that's why I sort of stick to the ones that seem to have use cases. They seem to be working well, because I just don't like. Ripple was a good example of the SEC. Looks like they might have light at the end of the tunnel, but if anything did happen with any of these other ones, I can just see them trying to clean out a bunch of them. So,
Yeah, I think a degree of diversification is probably welcome. Again, it's about these. There's just obviously this new, relatively new and exciting thing, crypto. But you've both alluded to sort of like fundamental trading principles. Whether it's don't put your eggs in one basket, make sure you're diverse, so you don't get taken out by any one disaster. And Nick, you've spoken of taking profits when they're offered to you, scaling out. So it's about traders can take their existing knowledge and skills and put them on top of crypto in that respect. Right. I think it's time to move on to challenge 2, which I believe I have an appropriate background for. If it's gonna, there we go. I'm not sort of alluding to using this one. It's just the first one I got off Google about 2 minutes before we started. So that's about as prepared as I get. Be a moon boy. Trade a crypto you feel strongly about. You may have already done it, but you're going to have to find another one. I'm going to put you on the spot. So Nick, please find a crypto that you feel strongly about to take a position for the trade battle, please.
I don't like being a moon boy when I'm bearish. I don't like being a moon boy ever.
I mean, if you're in Australia, the moon will be the opposite way around. So you can go short if you want. You don't have to go long.
Oh, that's a good point. Or I could go long on USDT, Tether, by shorting Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, okay, I'll go with that logic.
I'm bullish on USDT, so I'm going to short Bitcoin right now.
Yeah, I like that. Good thinking.
Cool. Yeah, so I'm short on Bitcoin. I'll explain my trade real quick. Yeah, basically, I just think Bitcoin's going to go back down and test at least the support area, possibly down further. I think it's going to turn around some point in April, but I'm just trading what I see on the charts. I do think this is a bit of a fake pump here on Bitcoin. Let me zoom in, actually. I think this is a bit of a fake pump. I think it's probably going to go down to like 37K or something like that. Bitcoin loves to trick people. People will see this move down. They'll be like, oh, it's hit this trend line. It's hit this support area. It's going to turn around, finally relief. And it's like, nah, I'm going to down again. It's pretty common for Bitcoin to do that. I think people are just getting overhyped. Everyone got in here thinking we were going to go back to 46K. I think now it's going to turn around and probably test like down here, this kind of 37K area. So at the very least, I think 39K, but I think it's going lower. So yeah, I'm going to short Bitcoin.
So you're expecting the old dead cat bounce then?
Essentially, yeah. I think this is a bit of a dead cat bounce.
Yeah, and you think it's going to break, so that ascending trend line, you think it's going to break that and maybe test some of the horizontal support and resistance as well?
Yeah, some of the ones down here, 37K.
Well, yeah, would you look to take profit of that trend line then? Or some profit?
Yeah, for sure. In case I'm wrong, I'd definitely be taking something off there. I'm very, very much about taking profit. I don't like to just assume that it's going to keep going or just assume that I'm right. I mean, I think it's going to break the trend line, but what if it doesn't? Then it's going to go back and hit my stop loss. So at the very least, I'm going to move my stop to break even, but I'll probably be taking something off the table by the time we get to that trend line.
Yeah, it's a very difficult thing psychologically as a trader to see a large amount of profit disappear, isn't it? It's a very difficult, if you're new to trading, it's a very difficult thing to do. And one of the ways to alleviate that is, as Nick's describing here, is take a little bit of profit, and then if the market does come against you, you've still got some profit. If the market carries on, you're still in the game as well. It's a bit of a halfway house to sort of manage your psychology, loss aversion, if you want to Google it, sort of emotions like that. So yeah, completely agree with that. Santa, please find us a crypto as well that you would like to potentially go long or short on that you feel strongly about today.
Yep, I've just taken a short on Ethereum, and only for a short term. It's only for a short term fall.
Okay.
And to target the 3,000 level again. So
able to zoom in as much as you can.
Sure,
That's great. Thank you. I appreciate you showing a longer term.
No worries at all. Easy. That 3,000 level. I'll just quickly jump on the 4 hour. I don't think that we've got an ABC diamond that hasn't completed as yet. The completion pattern is actually the 61.8 of the prior fib, which is this last range, and then you have the diamond completion, which is again at that 29.20 level. So I've taken a short on this. I believe this will break the low, create another pullback on the MACD, but I don't think BTC will break the low. So it's just something to look for. Ethereum to break the low, BTC not to break the low. That's why I'll take this short to with the target. I'll just draw the that's the trade to break the low. And then if I jump on the BTC, I'm actually long here, but the stop loss, I mean, if we put a limit order in, the limit probably would be here, but I've taken a trade where it is now. That's okay. The stop will be just below, and then the take profit will be the 43 level. So there's a little bit of a hedge, but I think one will play out, hit the target. The other one will actually reverse, and hopefully we get two of them, which would be nice.
It is, and because you've got a positive risk reward on both of those trades, if one was a loser, one's a winner, you're still going to make profit overall, assuming obviously they get both. If one gets to the profit target, I've just noticed that. It's interesting. Your ABCD, is that Elliott wave theory? Forgive me, I'm not familiar with it.
Yeah, it's sort of wave theory. It's like I read a book about harmonic patterns, which is something I trade quite strongly with, and an ABC pattern is, I'm happy to take all these off. Actually, you know what? I'll take everything off and explain it. So
Yeah,
you have this this first impulse, and then you have a correction, which is an ABC in itself, an ABC, and then you also have the final move. So generally these are the same in distance, right? Now, when you jump and grab the diamond tool, there's different measurements between, if it pulls back to 38.2, or in this case 40, but we'll say 38.2 because that's the fib, right? 38.2. It generally extends to 2.4, which is a Fibonacci extension, right? Which brings us to, again, that 29, say 20 level, right? So then I'll zoom out and I'll fib the last range, and I'll generally just jump on a line graph to really find the exact range. Would be this low here, and I fib that up, and then I bring that back down to a candle, and it also coincides with the 61.8% now of the Fibonacci, right? So that's why I believe it may break the low, because the diamond has not completed. We also have bearish divergence on the MACD, which would be this one here. We have a higher high in the MACD created, but possibly a lower low created on the actual candles, which is symbolizing there's no real support there, right? So yeah, that's why I've taken a short on this one.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting there to see how you combine the Fibonacci's, doing it both with the harmonic patterns, but also then the standard sort of swing high to swing low. It's always interesting to see how people trade from a sort of technical point of view or a fundamental point of view. Nick, I should have asked you the same question. What sort of technical analysis or is going into your sort of decision making? Just use any trade as an example that you've taken so far.
I just use support resistance. I mean, I draw support resistance. If you look at my charts, they look a bit messy. I have to be honest, these aren't my charts. Last time I was on this laptop, we were doing I was doing a doubles trading battle with Lady of Crypto, so I'm kind of on her charts and I'm drawing on her charts, so she might not be too happy with me. These aren't my charts, so I'm quickly adjusting my support resistance areas as I go, because hers are a bit different to mine, and she uses all these pretty colors, which I don't really get along with, but whatever. So the reason I'm bringing this up is, if you look at my charts, it looks a bit confusing because we got like all kinds of lines all over the place. But really what these are, they're just support resistance areas. They're just your standard support resistance areas. I just place them at peaks and troughs, essentially. So, just as an example, like this would be resistance because near this crypto that I'm looking at right now, it spiked up to here, turned around. So this got set as a resistance area. That's a pretty big support area, so on and so forth, and then the smaller ones as we go through. So yeah, I just short resistance and long support. I mean, as simple as it gets. I barely even look at candlesticks anymore. It just gives me a brief kind of idea of what's going to happen. If it hits support and we get like a pin bar, I might be more tempted to take a long. But generally speaking, just if it hits one of my support areas, I'll go long. If it hits resistance, I'll take profit. And that's the trick in crypto. Just keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate things. And price generally respects technical levels in crypto. It respects technical levels very well in crypto.
Yeah, that it was interesting, the contrasting styles there. I mean, they're both fundamentally technical, but you're using just horizontal support and resistance, very similar to me, to be fair. Whereas Santo, you've got a little bit more sort of TA with the MACD and things on there. I think the overall lesson for anyone who's watching and developing the trading is that there's different ways to achieve the goal. The goals of trading are essentially to try and consistently make money and stay in the game. I think you'd both agree. And however you achieve that, The only thing I'd say on TA is if you've got something on your charts, then have a reason why it's there, because people could just overload the charts and this so-called analysis paralysis occurs. A couple of questions in the chat that I'm just going to bring to you. Where did Nick hear about GMT? Just as he's drinking his coffee, perfect timing.
Right, yeah, GMT. So we got that as, I believe, a tip from a friend of Lady of Crypto. So the way that person found it, I could tell you, which is essentially what's being asked here, like, how do you find that crypto? So a good little trick for finding cryptos that are really going to take off is to look at launch pads. Launch pads are essentially, without getting too technical, launch pads are, they're essentially launch pads for cryptos. It's where a crypto gets launched. So you could look at launch pads and you'll see cryptos that are coming up. Now, GMT came from the Binance Launchpad. So Binance has an incubator program where it incubates cryptos. So it helps them build, it gives them ideas. Binance is an expert in the industry. And then they can also launch cryptos through their Launchpad. I'm not saying get into the Launchpad because it's unnecessarily convoluted. It costs a lot of money to get into a Launchpad. But just buy the cryptos that are launching from the Launchpad after they launch. So GMT launched from the Binance Launchpad. If you waited a day after it launched, and it almost always does this. So it'll launch from a Launchpad, it'll go up, then it'll crash. Because everyone who got in at Launchpad prices, very cheap prices, they've taken profit, it crashes, then you buy that crash, and then it'll steadily just climb back up. So GMT just came from a Launchpad, the Binance Launchpad. In fact, if you look at everything Binance is incubating, and they're totally open about it, just type Binance Incubator into Google, type Binance Incubator, and you'll get a blog post from Binance that says everything they're incubating. There's so many cryptos in there that even in these market conditions are going to do a 5 times, a 10 times, 100 times. You still have to do your research, though. Not everything in a Launchpad is going to be successful. You still have to do your research, make sure the team's good, make sure the idea is good, make sure there's demand for that idea in the industry, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's interesting. So I was actually going to ask the question, what would be a top tip for people to start really getting into crypto and sort of find those golden opportunities? And I guess you've just sort of provided the answer there, is just sort of start at the sort of genesis of these cryptos, if you like. Yeah,
exactly.
Similar question to you then, Santo. What would be a top tip for you? You'd suggest for people to get into crypto? It doesn't necessarily need to be ones at the base. Just people who are looking to sort of dip the toe into the market, if you like, which I'm sure some of the audience are.
Yeah, definitely. Look, it's a tough one because I've only ever based my crypto on charts. So maybe look for some sort of education to understand charts if that's where you want to go with it on that end. But look, Nick brings up some pretty interesting points about the Launchpad. I don't even know about that. So very super interesting, actually. Something I might even look into, Nick. But it sounds like that happens in the share market as well when they raise funds for companies, and you jump in the raise, and then the day that they unholt, everyone just they got into the raise. They just sell the first few days because they're already in profit, right? So sounds very similar. But in terms of if you're new to crypto, I would definitely steer towards maybe the top 500 in the beginning, or top maybe 300, because there's definitely a lot of opportunity in those in the beginning. But if you want to be adventurous, maybe follow what Nick is saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're looking a little bit further down the line. Once there's actually data, the chart, you can sort of do that basic sort of technical analysis as well, or just look for the opportunities that the market's indicating. Right.
Yeah,
Before we get into our,
sorry, Son,
sorry, go on.
can I just add? I'll add
Of
one
course
more
you can.
thing to that. You nailed it on the head. So the first thing I get people PMing me all the time about, check out this crypto, check out this crypto. The first thing I do with any crypto is I jump on TradingView and I just check if there is a chart, because many of them are, if they're not on TradingView, I can't chart the ticker. But that's also an alarming bell. Like, why is it not on TradingView? Like, why hasn't one of the biggest charting software listed this crypto? So that's probably the first alarm bell, and that's actually served me well, because that's actually kept me away from a couple of rug pulls that sadly my friends got into. So that's probably the first thing, is check if it's on a known charting software or a known platform where there are a lot of users, there are a lot of viewers, because then at least you know that they've done due diligence on the coin, and then you can actually see where it's at. But yeah, definitely, I want to see historical data, see where the levels are, see where it's bounced off prior. Pretty much what you guys have said already, the support resistance. If it's not there, I won't touch it.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. So using it as a form of legitimacy to corroborate it. If it's good enough to be on TradingView, then it's worthy of your interest. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Right, before the final challenge, we're just going to very briefly just talk about the charities that you are battling for. Then we're going to get into our final challenge for this trading battle stream. Nick, which charity are you trading for, please?
I'm trading for Smile Train. It's a great charity. I've been giving to them for years. Yeah, I mean, I've talked about it plenty of times on trading battles. I mean, this is probably like my 10th trading battle. But yeah, Smile Train fixes kids' cleft palates, which can be very debilitating. I struggle to say that word sometimes. In certain countries, it can basically ruin your life. Like stops you from being able to get a job, etc. And in the UK, in Australia, in the countries we're from, it just gets fixed right away. Like at birth, it gets fixed, but over there, it doesn't. So there's these wonderful doctors that go out there and they perform these operations on children essentially for free.
That's
Or
fantastic.
Charity. Yeah.
Fantastic cause. Santo, your charity, please.
Yeah, it's just children with cancer. So just couldn't imagine what it's like to have a child with cancer. And I remember, story many years ago where I saw a father and his child had cancer and was going in for surgery, and just a look on his face, just my heart dropped. So yeah, all charity that I donate to is straight to kids charity, in terms of cancer, just to help them live with it and help them fight this horrible disease. So yeah.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Two fantastic charities. Do find that a lot on Trading Battle is people are donating to children's charities. So fantastic causes there. Right. Okay. We're going to go into our third and final challenge. I've left it fantastic. There's about 6 minutes to go, so I have to keep it relatively concise. But the third and final challenge is going to be place a trade that you intend to hold over the weekend, over the next 5 days. I don't know if you've got bank holidays over there, but we do. So we're looking for a trade that we're probably going to be looking to close out next Tuesday. Nick, do you have any ideas, please?
Yeah, I'm going to short ADA because it's like, I don't know how much trouble I'll get in for saying this, but ADA is just a horrible coin that's completely overhyped, and I really don't like it. I don't think it has any future, and I think it's going to continue to go down. People get very mad when you say that because there's a lot. It's like got a cult-like following. This crypto, but see, that's the problem with it. It's got a cult-like following, so the cultists will just jump into it, drive it up every time Bitcoin starts to have a little bit of a resurgence, but then reality kicks in and it drops back down. I think ADA is probably going to go down to 50 cents, probably this year even. But over the short term, I'm thinking 82 cents is a good target down at this support area. 82 to 77 cents, something like that. So I'm going to short it here. And yeah, that's my trade.
So how much abuse do you get on your socials when you say something negative about coins? Because I do notice that there's very much a very passionate following with these things. People get sort of really into them, don't they, in a sort of memey, gamified way, don't they? So I get you getting to get some shit for that.
I'm lucky because these days, the lady in my team, Lady of Crypto, is basically the social media star. So I'm in the background. So I can say whatever I want and no one listens to me, which is fantastic. So I don't get anything for it. But when she talks about ADA, she does get a lot of crap for it though. So yeah.
Well, I've just been given your Telegram, so I'm going to put that on screen, and then everyone can abuse you directly.
Oh, please, I hope not. I like having the freedom of saying whatever I want, and no one cares.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you for that, Santo. Your trade for us to hold over these next 5 days.
Yeah, so look, I'd love Nick's opinion on XRP. Actually, he's I'm a bit of a big believer of it. What's your opinion on XRP? Because I know ADA I don't believe in as well. Like I think it's a bit of a shit coin. But sorry, I shouldn't have said that. But what's your opinion on XRP?
I think XRP that actually has like a lot more potential. We're seeing like a lot of different things happening with XRP. We're seeing NFTs on XRP now. If that court case gets there's this whole meme in crypto, right? If that court case with the SEC gets solved, then XRP is going to go to $500, which is just frankly ridiculous. But I do see a lot of potential upside once they win the court case, which I think they will. And it looks like we're getting progress in that, although I don't follow it too closely, I have to be honest. It looks like we're getting some progress towards that being solved. So, yeah, once that's won, fingers crossed, I do see XRP going up a fair bit. I think it is undervalued right now because it's being weighed down by that. It's definitely better than ADA. For sure.
Okay, great. Good to know. Yeah, Simon. So I'm going to try and because we're 5 days to hold this thing, so I'm going to again feel a little bit adventurous here. I'm going to take a short for XRP to break the low, and I'm going to set a limit order. Hopefully that gets triggered when it breaks the low to then take it on the way up to come back up to the 77 level. So the limit order only get hit if it actually breaks the low, but I'll take it short.
Okay, so you're looking for a confirmation signal to get on board with that trade, right? Okay, I think we've got. Can we briefly put the scoreboard up and then see where people are at the moment as we're coming to the conclusion of this stream? I'm putting all the producers on the spot here. There we go. Okay, so we're currently relatively flat here at the moment. Bitcoin's probably the largest position, but there's so many days for this to play out. We've got 4 positions. Going into the close. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with these coins and see who ends up the winner and hopefully donating a fat chunk of 8 caps cash to one of these wonderful charities that you're working to. Very briefly then, Nick, 30 seconds. How can people follow you and who may have been very interested in things that you've said today?
Honestly, don't follow me. Follow Lady of Crypto. At Lady of Crypto 1. She joined my team a while ago. And now she's basically become, I wouldn't say team leader, but she's basically become the celebrity. I'm just one of the minions on the team at this point. So follow Lady of Crypto on Twitter, at Lady of Crypto 1. And
thank you very much. Santo, you have 30 seconds. How can people follow you?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter, just at SuracheFX, so SuracheFX. I'm also on YouTube. I like to trade live on there under a YouTube handle, Traders Mission, and that's why I just trade live on there and just have a bit of fun with some friends on there. So if you want to jump on and watch some live streams of some trades as well.
All right, well, fantastic, gentlemen. I think it's been a brilliant stream. People have learned a lot about crypto, including myself, but that's not difficult. So I'm pretty happy I've blagged my way through the entire thing and just allowed you to do the talking. We've got some interesting trades on. We'll see how those play out. And we'll see if we can raise some money for one of these fantastic causes these two gentlemen are working with. So thank you, Nick. Thank you, Santo, for joining me with this trade battle. And thank you to the audience for joining as well. And hopefully you will join us for our next trading battle. So have a great weekend, particularly if you've got a bank holiday, and we will see you next time. Goodbye from me and goodbye from Nick and Santo.
Thanks. See you later, guys.
All right. Thanks for having us.